So right now we are on the settings screens, and when we enter the settings we have two subgroups, the main settings group and the MIDI monitor group. To use MIDI monitor functions, remember that it's available currently from starting from the firmware version 4.9 something. I believe it's 4.98 upwards. I'm currently using the firmware version 5.00, which is in the stable release. So if someone wants to have exactly the same setting as I currently have on this device, I recommend you to update to the latest firmware. The MIDI monitor is additional separate functions. After entering it, you get display showing the incoming MIDI data. Everything that appears on this MIDI imports, which are the 5-pin ports, the TRS ports, the USB ports, and the Bluetooth ports. Remember that Graviton supports all these standards, meaning that all MIDI standards are present today. That's why it's such a universal and advanced device. So it's a good idea first to clear that screen at the beginning. And now, as you can see, when I move the expression pedal, which is connected to Graviton via USB, we get the real-time values displayed here. So for example, on the first channel we receive the control change number 11, which with the current value of 28, 29, 30. As I increase the pedal, it increases value to 61. It's a little bit slow, but it works really good. So that's the MIDI monitor. It's generally useful when you want to see information that is being sent into the Graviton from any ports, so it's worth using it sometimes. So now the main settings screens. The main settings screens is divided into two pages, page 1 and page 2. So here's page 2, here's page 1. And let me warn you up front, the arrow on the left, on this left side, leads always to the main screen. So it's a little bit confusing. Sometimes I catch myself thinking this arrow takes me back one page or one step back, but it actually returns to the main screen. So we are back into main screen. So when you want to go to the previous page, press the page button located on this top right corner, and you will be able to switch pages. On the first page here, we can adjust the brightness, screen brightness, and we can calibrate a touch screen, but I won't do that right now because these devices are usually well calibrated out of the box. Okay, next one, we have MIDI settings, and we have traditional MIDI setting using the MIDI in ports, which are present on this left side MIDI DIN ports, and the TRS, 4 TRS ports, and the small TRS connector. So we have 6 ports with traditional MIDI in and out. These ports can be used as the MIDI out ports, these back ports, but this is on the left side you have the MIDI imports, traditional MIDI imports. So this next one is the USB MIDI in and out ports, and the next one you have the MIDI Bluetooth MIDI in and out ports. So how you can configure this? So for example, right now I have the USB MIDI in signal coming from this expression pedal, which is connected via USB. This USB, okay, so this is the traditional USB-A port, and to use this in this mode, you have to configure this MIDI port as a MIDI host. I can explain later the difference between the host and the device mode. So let's back to MIDI. So right now I have the expression pedal connected via MIDI in to this port, and MIDI signal which is coming from this expression pedal enters Graviton and exits through the MIDI out, traditional MIDI out. So I disengage this through. So now the MIDI in from the MIDI expression exits the Graviton via standard classical MIDI port, which is connected into 5-pin MIDI DIN, MIDI out. So on this page you can configure which way you want to get the MIDI in and which way on which ports you want to get out the MIDI. And remember, the MIDI through works like this. Everything what is present on this MIDI in here, this one, or this one, can get through that port. So be aware that this can create MIDI loops. A MIDI loop happens when the signal sensed from Graviton re-enter it, causing the signal duplication. If that happens, the Graviton or connected device may crash or freeze. So you must plan carefully your setup to avoid the MIDI loops, otherwise you might run into serious problems. Graviton offers a lot of routing flexibility, but this comes with the risk of MIDI loops. Okay, so let's continue with these settings. So now we have TRS section, and this TRS section configures your 4 TRS ports on the back, which are labeled TRS 1, 2, and TRS 3 and 4. You can switch between them to set each port's functions or mode. So as you can see, we have TRS 1, 2, 3, and 4, and a little mini jack 1.8 inches out, which is which works only as a MIDI out, but you can choose what type of MIDI type A, MIDI type B, MIDI tip active and read active. I think you can check it on the Google how the MIDI TRS types works. Okay, so you can use these TRS ports for various devices. For example, MIDI out, external foot switches, wired versions, 10 buttons versions, and the 6 button versions. The standard foot switch like this one I have here, which I built by myself. Also via TRS cable, but this one only supports up to 3 buttons. and of course standard expression DRS pedals. You can use it as the relay out port. This is control voltage. I think CVE stands for control voltage, and the switch out. So this port can be used as the switch for switching your amp channels. Actually two channels, because you can wire the tip to the ground and the ring to the ground, so it can serve you as two outputs to via special Y type cable. I'll explain all these functions when we got to the practical configuration, but for now I'm just describing the possibilities of this. So next one we have USB connections, and the USB can operate in two modes: the host mode, which I have it right now, and the device mode. The host mode, the Graviton acts as the brain of external MIDI network, managing and listening to connected USB devices. For example, I connected the external expression pedal from Lele, which constantly sends the MIDI out over USB, and the Graviton listens for that on the USB port, this large USB port, and now it's set to host mode. So when I disconnect this, it stays disconnected. When I reconnect it, it said it's connected. So now it can get the signals from the USB port from Lady pedal. Device mode acts like, for example, the USB MIDI keyboard or external MIDI USB controller, which is connected to another master device, like a computer, for example. You can connect Graviton to your computer and use it like a MIDI keyboard on the controller, sending MIDI data to your DAW and other software. Then we have Bluetooth mode, and this Bluetooth mode works in two modes. And the first one is the central mode, and the other is peripheral mode. And of course you can turn off the radio. The central modes act very similarly like the USB host or device mode. The central mode is a brain. It's the central device which can store up to 10 devices and connect to them. Right now it is partially working. With some devices it works very well, with some don't, but it's very promising. I think in the future software updates it will work really well. For now I'm using the CME WIDI through 6 device, and it's working really well. It auto reconnects. So to do this you have to start pairing this device. It scans, it finds your Bluetooth MIDI device. Now I don't have any Bluetooth device started, so it won't start, but it's I think it works really well. In the peripheral mode, the Graviton works as peripheral device. So to make a Bluetooth connection you have to find it on external central device like your tablet, your iPad, or maybe your computer, and you have to connect from there, and the Graviton connects like the peripheral device. So you can connect just one device to it. So for example, if you want to control Graviton from your iPad, it should be in the peripheral mode, and it received MIDI signals via MIDI over Bluetooth from iPad, and you can do many different things with this. I can show you some examples later, but for now it's all you can do in Bluetooth mode. So next one, we have the next page. Here we have a clock, MIDI clock. If you don't know what the MIDI clock is, please check it on Google, or maybe try to find some tutorials on YouTube. Basically, you can control the MIDI timing on your timing pedals, like for example stream on timeline, and you can keep all clocks running or stop all clocks and start to send MIDI clock when you press the button and when you start your new preset. Below that you have analog tab clock cycle. Analog clock is present on one of the TRS ports, so it can be 4 taps, which means that 4 times the tip can wire to the ground 4 times, and it can do the same continuously, tapping like you tap your foot pedal. So the control timing is for controlling how long it can delay between your MIDI messages. Default value is 2 milliseconds, so if you have one message, then it waits 2 milliseconds and then sends another message. Here you have foot switches, 2 foot switches settings. It's the bounce, so it's try to control how long it have to wait before you press and release the switch. It's because you don't want accidentally to send 2 values with one press, so you can configure here. Then you have the pairing part of the settings. You can pair the X, Y and AC controllers, which is basically X and Y, and EC controllers. The EC controller is the small one with these rotation rings. I don't have this one right now, so I can show you. And wireless foot switches. The wireless foot switches are parts of the Graviton system. These 10 and 6 button foot switches. You can connect up to 10 switches. And right now I don't have this 6 button and 10 button foot switch. I will get it probably to the end of the week, so I will try to show you how to connect it and how to configure. Here you can change the channel, because it works on the same frequency like the Wi-Fi. So you can use similar channels like in the Wi-Fi. So if you have some interference, you have very noisy environment with a lot of Wi-Fi's networks, you can change channel, but be aware when you change channel you have to repair again. On the data settings, this is very important and very good part of this system. You can store and load up to 10 configurations of your pedal, the all system. So right now I have just one, but if you have, for example, 2 big systems and you want to be able to control it with just one Graviton, you can program it with one system, store for example in the first slot, and then you can program totally different setup and then store into here. You can have backups if you want. Of course you can also send via Wi-Fi and your computer browser these settings to the file and store in your computer to make a backup or something. You can also reset data, just settings and all data. If you want to sell Graviton, you can erase everything. And here is update or rollback option. Graviton can be updated only using Wi-Fi. So make sure to have your router set to 2 and 4.0 gigahertz network, because Graviton works on these 2.4 gigahertz standards. So if you have only 5 gigahertz router set in your house, it won't see the network. So and make sure, because the antenna is not very good, make sure that you are a little bit closer to your router, and it is working really well. So I don't have any problems with updating this device. I have Synology router in my house and it works perfect. So that's all the settings. And